Hey guys, welcome back for the seventh episode of the Trey Fan Podcast titled You Good? I always get so thinking to say that, but like we have two of my great friends here, Megan and Davina. We're supposed to do this in person. I feel like I've been saying that with every episode. We're supposed to do this in person. But because of
The,
COVID, of
the
course,
times
and the
we live in.
restrictions, we're not able to. I'm so happy I finally have you guys here. My episode for this episode had been delayed because obviously I was moving and stuff, so I was kind of busy with that and stuff. So happily, I'm finally settled in. Obviously, you guys can see all the superhero stuff in the back, whatever. Um, but yeah, I'm just happy to finally do this and have my great friends here, and especially because everybody's been asking, like, yo, Rashawn, when are you gonna have some girls on your show? It's very biased. It's only guys. I get it. I get it. We're doing this, okay? So now people can see I'm not biased. I'm not just picking my friends or thing. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have girls' perspective. It's gonna be good. We're gonna have some really good content stuff for you guys. So yeah. So obviously we'll start with introduction and stuff. So we got our homegirl Megan over there and Davina over
Oh,
there. So I'll let these ladies explain a little bit about themselves, and you guys can have an idea, and then we'll get into it. So whoever wants to go first, by all means.
I will take the full reign here. So, as y'all know, my name is Megan. I am graduating very, very soon. Your girl is getting her degree. Very excited about that. Yes,
Nice.
yes.
Almost there.
Almost so close to the finish line. So just been like super busy with school and stuff lately. And I'm interning in the music industry right now, which is like really crazy, really fun,
She
especially
Baytime.
during, oh yeah, man, especially during like quarantine times and stuff. Like it's just been nice to be busy and like have things to do. So your girl's been doing her thing, just trying to keep busy, living
Nice.
her best life or as good of a life as she can stuck inside her house.
Yes, nice,
That's
nice.
me.
That's mate. Well, Davina, I'll let you go and take that away now.
As you all heard, I'm Davina. um, Honestly, I do the same thing. I'm finishing up school. I work part time. I spend all my time outside. I love outside so much.
That's good though.
Yeah, and the weather's getting nicer, so I'm not inside.
Yeah.
I love it out there. I go on walks. Just I've started running, but I
Oh,
hate
nice.
it. I hate it. Me, I'll stick to
Nice.
every time I do walking. physical activity.
Nice,
I tried a thing. It was of my quarantine interest, so I'm over it
nice,
though.
nice.
I'm not about it. I love that for you. Good job. Maybe I'll try it again because we might. There's lockdowns after lockdowns. I'll have another chance next time.
That's
I
another
was
thing, right?
gonna say we be stuck inside, so might as well do something new.
Oh, that's the thing. Like, if there's any point in time to try things, it's now. I mean,
I'm.
like
It's
this
true.
this pandemic, you're locked in your room, you're locked in your house for a very long time. It's been a fucking year, which is
It's
crazy to think.
the
And
new normal.
somehow we've still kept ourselves sane, and the best way we can is because we've been trying things new, or we're not interacting with our friends and family as much as we want to,
We have
or
to
like
pass our time somehow.
we have to think our time somehow, right? So we're
Exactly. So
trying.
it's honestly like it's been tough being in quarantine for like a whole year now,
Yeah.
struggling through these pandemic times. But the
Yeah.
only thing that's like helped give me positivity in my
Yeah.
day, obviously, is just like staying in touch with friends, man. Like it's so
Yeah.
weird knowing that under normal circumstances, at least the three of us would probably be seeing each other a lot more often. And that's just not the case, and that
Yeah.
hasn't been happening, but at least we can do stuff like this that would have never happened if
Happen.
quarantine didn't
Yeah.
happen,
That's true.
Or like, you
It
know
So,
also
what?
makes me a little sad though, because I'm just
Yeah.
like, I see you guys on the computer, and I'm just like, I can't, like, I need you to, I need to
We're
hug you
used
guys.
to,
Um,
properly like hanging out and stuff, right? Like,
yeah.
I was saying, like, it actually reminds me back to when we were in high school and stuff. We used to do with the tiny chat video calls, and
Tiny
like,
chat?
I don't know if you
Hmm.
remember that, but like, it used to be like kind of like Zoom calls, whatever. But like, after we get to finish class and stuff, like me, like a couple of my friends and stuff, or you would like it was like basically like the Zoom call, what it was at like 7 p.m. to like 11 because that's just like everyone's like time to go to sleep and whatever before we have school in the morning, and like just did stupidness and talk over there. Like, I remember like I used to be me, like Amin, Raj, shout out to them, a couple of other friends and stuff that we used to do those calls with. So, it's
That's fun. It's the updated MSN.
it's updated.
It's video now.
Yeah. But yeah, so speaking of high school and stuff, that's how actually me and Davina became friends, was through high school. I
So long
don't
ago. Oh
recall
my God.
how, but it was in grade 9, right?
It had to be. Yeah, it was fresh grade 9. I was new to the school.
Yeah.
And Roshan and all of his friends were like kind of like the only people I saw that I related to, I guess, physically. And I was like, yep, Dan, let's go.
Guys,
and I also had some of them in my classes too.
What she's basically saying is like there was just a certain amount of Kali people. We're all put together. That's basically it. So
everyone has their cliques, right? But yeah, and then we hung out and we became really good friends, like all of us together. And then I guess now after like high school and stuff, everyone just, I don't know.
They kind of did their own thing, like
Yeah.
I still talk to like a couple people from high school and stuff, like every day and stuff, my little group and stuff. But for the most part, like, everyone's just kind of doing their own thing, and especially, during these times, it's
I know.
it's different. But
I have only like a handful of people I talk to, and I didn't realize that until the other day. It's like the same, like I don't have to scroll far down on WhatsApp or like any other app to like find a conversation.
all the main conversations are like right at the front, the top 5.
But the thing is, I like about it though, is that like if I did hit up any of my other friends that I didn't talk to in a while, it's not like different though. I like that everyone kind of has like a common understanding that it's just how these times are and it's not anything personal.
What about you, Meg? Do you remember like how you met Davina? At least how you Davina first.
Okay.
Because I don't know about this.
I did not meet any of them up in high school. I didn't know any of them in high school. It's weird because I know Rashawn and Davina through the same mutuals, but we just never really knew each other at the same time.
Yeah.
Again, I think this is like, you know what? I love that for us. I think it's just Coolie Problems 101. Like, shout outs to my cousin Nick.
Yeah. Shout out to Nick, bro.
Shout outs to Nick. Nick is boys with Rashawn. But then
Nick
was friends with Davina.
He is a common denominator in this.
Yeah.
And Nick is my cousin. So we've all kind of been interconnected from like such a long time ago. And like some of my cousins went to school with Sean and Davina, like back in high school. And then I became closer with Davina when I found out that we went to like the same school, or like we were in the same area. And so when I was in uni, she was in college. Yeah. And over time, through just like our mutual friends and mutual connections, I became closer to Sean and his sister Sheena. Shout out to Sheena.
Shout out to Sheena.
And so somehow, in some weird way, eventually at some point, the 3 of us kind of interconnected. And I think I was the common denominator for the 3 of us, but I was not the common denominator between how we each knew each other. And I think this is just Coolie Problems. Like, I don't know. We find new cousins and new friends every single day. I don't know.
It never makes sense,
we are. And so, yeah, like ever since, I would say maybe within the past year or so, we've become really a lot closer, a lot closer for sure. But I don't even know how that happened. Like one day, the 3 of us, all of a sudden had a group chat called "You Good?" And
we'll explain that story later, guys.
I think it was like after Rashawn's parties and stuff, like we're always like the ones that kind of just like are left back, I guess, at the end of the night.
The last couple, yeah.
Like there's other people too, but like it was always like most of it was us. And then I think that's just when like the bonding started. Yeah.
It was last year, July. I think you guys came over and we were just talking about life and stuff. Like, and then I was like, yo, holy crap, like, like we never really had these conversations, but we always had like party conversations about like going out and hanging out. And we always had a good time with that. But we never actually got to talk about life and stuff. So when we actually had that moment, we saw that we actually related a lot mentally on a mental aspect. And then that's what drew us closer, or drew me closer toward you guys to talk to you guys more, was because like I'm like, okay, well, it's good to see that, like you guys obviously think very similar to me and are true friends in a sense. I have just maybe a handful of good friends like you guys that always did look out for me and my family and stuff, and that's the kind of energy that you want to be around, right? So yeah, and then that's it. We're like made a group chat, and then we start to talk more. It wasn't just partying together, but it was also just whenever you guys need to talk, like we're there.
Sometimes expanded from that.
Exactly, so.
Yeah. Like it became, I guess, kind of like a safe space, and then anytime we kind of just had to like talk or vent or whatever, it was always like late nights, like, yo, you trying to hop on a FaceTime call real quick?
Like, it sound like we all had our moments when like yo, we're down dumps, like we needed like help. Like there's times when like at least all of us are crying for at least one thing. And, I'm not gonna front like we ain't. I'm not gonna front like I wasn't at one point. You know what I'm saying? And these guys were there for me. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, everyone cries.
Thank you guys for that.
Everyone has emotions. You gotta let them out.
Yeah.
No, that's the thing. Like, homeboy Drake didn't cry from Toronto all the way to LA. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a reason he did all that. You know what I'm saying? Homeboy knew he was plotting, bro. He knew this.
He's been in his feelings. We knew.
He's been in his feelings. He's still like, this guy's still talking about me, bro. Like, come on, bro.
Forever lost over these shorties, man. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you.
He's the true definition of a Toronto man, just gone wrong.
I'm wrong. He's doing well though.
I mean, he's making it, bro. Like he's doing his thing. But,
he is doing his thing. Many of his songs and albums have gone platinum, and so
yeah, I can't even talk, bro. Like he's. I don't know how I got to Drake, but that was my fault. Sorry, guys. Continuing on though, I was gonna ask if you guys have like like a favorite memory or a moment that the three of us have experienced together.
Oh my god, I have to think.
Yeah, I don't think something
for me. I think for me, like one of the very first moments, or like one of the most memorable moments that I've had with Sean and Davina was a couple years ago when Sean had this birthday party at an Airbnb, and it was probably one of his.
Say that.
Really? Oh my god! It was definitely
that night
one
first
of his.
Came up to my head, yeah.
It was definitely one of his best birthday parties that he's ever had. So like context.
We had a DJ and everything. Like
yes.
Yeah, I kid you not. We had at least 85 people to 90.
It was a lot, yeah.
So good.
It was fun though. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. Like all the group pictures are so like everybody jumped in for the group
everybody.
picture. Like.
Yeah. Oh, we see. We'll find the picture quickly. Hold up.
It was
honestly, yeah.
I'll look for it in the meantime.
Too. But it was just so much fun because it was one of the first birthday parties of Sean's that I went to, and he always throws just like really lit birthday parties every year. Yeah, and that was when he and I, crazy, right? Like that was when he and I first started becoming good friends. Yeah. And then at that time, I was becoming closer and closer with his sister Sheena, and then me and Davina were already good friends from like knowing each other at school and stuff like that.
Seeing you every day.
So, yeah, literally. And so things kind of just naturally flowed.
It's gonna show,
oh my god, everybody. Yeah. Does it show?
Is it gonna show? Is it gonna show?
It's coming.
A little bit.
No, I don't see
it. No, it's not. Okay, well, basically that's everybody. You just see the fingerprints more than anything, but...
John, clean your phone.
Yeah, my bad, yo.
I know, right? But like, we got so many good pictures that day, and
I know. It was DJ. Everything about that night was just great. It was just fun.
That's Kids Frost, by the way. Great DJ.
I think everybody had fun. Everybody was having a good time. Like, and everybody was getting along with everyone, and that's I think that's what I liked about it too.
It was also the first time, Sean, that I met your mom, and her and I hit it off from the jump. And then ever since, Auntie was forever asking about me. And I was like, that's my mom, bro. Are you dumb?
That's my mom. That's my mom, too.
Oh, it's so cute. Well, that's the thing. Like the one thing I think like I rated with mom was she always had such a... I feel like with everybody, like they always consider her like a mom. Like they had that relationship with. And that was one thing. So when someone that she didn't like, she had a reason to not like. You know what I'm saying? And I never thought that before. Like until after I'm like, yeah, there's like it starts to make sense to me. I'm like, bro, all these people consider her mom. So if there's someone that she actually doesn't like, from my like that I think is a good person or whatever, she has
Mm.
the right to feel that way because she
Moms just
obviously
know.
sees, you know. So that's the thing. Like, thank God, like, you know, everyone. There was random people that came that I was friends with, but like I didn't invite. They
Oh,
just kind of just showed
I
up.
thought you meant like random randoms, and I was like, oh, okay, Project X,
Maybe
all
I mean,
right.
I was drunk for a good amount of the night, so like, you know, like, but from what I remember, you know, a couple of my other boys came that I didn't invite, but like I was so happy that they came because like obviously we tried to keep it at a limit because remember like the when we held that Airbnb where you weren't allowed to it wasn't supposed to be a party. It was just
Mm,
supposed to be a certain amount. So we were pushing it, you know, but thank
yeah,
God the night worked out. Like it's till this day, that's still my favorite. The 22nd birthday is still one of my favorites that I've ever experienced.
yeah.
Just because of what was going on at that time and what that night represented to all of us. It was, and I think like everybody said, like my parties, whenever I threw them, were always one of the best. And if anything, like they said,
Mm.
like it felt like my parties are only the high school reunion that we had with our friends.
I agree,
And
and I love it.
yeah, so like that's another reason why I did it was because like, you know, like I love that story behind it. You know what I'm saying? So then when people actually know what to look forward to come to these parties and what to expect. So
Yeah, like I feel like every birthday party that I've been to from Rashawn so far, there's always a story, always a really fun memory,
yeah,
always something super stupid that we have to talk about the next day and be like, guys, do you
yeah.
remember when this happened? And Sean will be like, what do I remember? I don't remember
I don't remember
anything. And I'm
anything.
like, oh,
That was the
The
only night I would get like super drunk like that. It was just my
the
birthday.
one before was also really fun too when you had it at the recreation center.
The which one?
When you had it at the recreation center, it was everything was like
Oh yeah, my 21st.
black gold.
Yeah,
Yeah, that one was fun too.
yeah.
I
So
don't know, Maggie, you weren't there for that one.
no, because we
we
weren't
weren't like, we weren't
until after that.
friends at that time. Yeah.
It was it Adrian's birthday?
We, so I first, like my very, very first time meeting Sean and Sheena was at my cousin's birthday, my cousin Adrian's birthday.
Shout out to Adrian.
And shout out Adrian, love you, Adrian. His birthday literally just passed
Just saying
not that
happy
long
happy
ago.
belated, bro.
I know,
Happy
love
belated birthday,
you.
mine soon.
Oh yeah. And he pretty much like at his birthday, it was when I met them for the first time, and
Yeah.
then we just naturally hit it off. I don't even know how that
Oh my god,
initial like introduction or
that's
anything
that's like me and you too. I saw you,
literally.
remember, and I was just like, I love your curls. Instantly, best friends. That's how kind
So
of all of us are.
I was gonna say it all started with me saying
Mm,
something to somebody, and
Yeah.
then we ended the night being like, okay, so we're friends now. Okay,
Yeah.
bet. And then
exactly.
it just happened. Like the very first time that I
She
think I
slapped
like
us.
really, really met Davina, what I was I think at my cousin Nick's birthday party in like a backyard a
I think I
couple years
remember
ago
that.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if Sean was there or not, but I know Sheena was there for sure because Sheena and Davina were together. And then that was kind of how me, Sheena, and Davina also kind of became our own trio
Mm.
and
Oh,
started hanging out and
true.
doing our thing.
Please
Like I said,
don't refer to our group name. I can't. It's a no. It's a work in progress.
Davina, and Sheena have a group name called
No.
Rupani Peak. Rupani Peak is supposed to be Rupnarine. It's supposed to be like Davina Manny, and then it's supposed to be Sheena Hakik. And
It's a
then
work in progress, though.
we made Sheena,
We
a
are
bright
accepting
mind,
suggestions.
You guys are
a
gonna get
bright
slapped at the border with
mind.
that last name, you know that, right? 100%.
We are
I'm
accepting
saying
suggestions for new one. That was only
it
temporary.
it was unique. It was creative. I don't see you coming up with
Creative,
a
okay,
better
debatable.
idea, Rashawn. Do you
Bro,
have a better idea, Rashawn?
no, I do not. Like it's so
Mm-hmm.
creative that my head hurts trying to process having to say that name 3 times. I'm okay.
No, let's not.
That's you guys as Beetlejuice.
Ew.
Anyways.
Anyways,
Anyways, so those are the memories.
those are the good memories though. But I think we have
How
so
things
much.
came to
Only
be.
some of them. They're all
Only
good
some of
memories.
them, you know. But we have a lot though. That's a good way to think. If we get back into it, we'll get back into it. So I feel like so on the show I have a thing called no shot moment. Basically what it is like whenever something major happens, we're like, yo, no shot that happens. Like that's something we all like me and my friends and stuff say. So we're like, yo, no way that actually happened, right? So I thought I was gonna say no shot moment being back under lockdown. I feel like that's like the best way to,
Yeah.
because we just found out that like yesterday. So by the
Honestly,
time
I
this
thought it was.
episode releases,
I
it's pretty
was really hoping it would be an April Fool's joke.
damn. I
That would have
forgot. Yeah,
been.
it was April Fool's. Yeah, yesterday.
That would have been crazy. Very bad on his part, though.
Yeah.
A great way of.
Can you imagine, like, really, like that's what you can do? Like, there's so much more, like what? Like it's very frustrating. It's to a point where like I'm not surprised when they put it back under lockdown because
That's true.
like even when we were free and stuff, I still didn't really go anywhere to begin with. So I didn't. Last thing, like I heard we're free, I'm like, oh shit, all right, bet, like like that's good for And then we got back into lockdown. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I mean, not surprised, like we got to figure out a way to just just be on lockdown for like a month straight, 2 months.
I feel like more than that. I don't know. I'm just
thing, like
I don't think I'll ever be ready to go back to like previous.
That's could you imagine
it'll
like
be so hard.
Like events and shit, like if they were to like
No, I can't. And I don't know how I ever will be again.
You know
just
what?
Thinking
it's
about
so
being
weird. Yeah, like
really jam packed, like in a club, like you can't move. Like I don't know how I'm
ever gonna be looking back on it. Like
I was literally thinking about it, and I thought back to our days when we would all go out and do all that stuff.
Every
like,
especially seeing everybody post all their throwback snaps.
Oh, like Snapchat memories. Literally, whoever made Snapchat memories can fuck you. That's all I can say, bro. Some traumatizing shit, bro. I'm not trying to look back at that.
I was gonna say Snapchat memories have been doing a number on me in COVID. Like, I'm either hella senti because I can't be doing all this fun stuff, or it's like, damn, like why you gotta remind me about this? I'm stuck in my bed at home doing my work.
And then you're like, you remember exactly what you're doing. Like when you see that memory, like fuck, bro. I remember like I was like I'm thinking like, yo, this is the best night ever. Like.
Yeah, like you know what? I think, and I was having this conversation with one of my managers, with like where I'm working right now, and it's weird because I feel like during the year, time has been passing by so quickly, but at the same time, it feels like we are living the same day over
and over again
and over again. And it's so hard because like you can literally feel time passing you by, and we look at the calendar and we literally just passed this 1 year anniversary. But it's like at the same time, you just feel stuck, like there's barely anything to do. You feel like you're in the exact same position that we were in last year, which now we are, like literally, it's April. I remember it being April last year and me thinking, oh my God, this is only going to last for a month. Then we'll be back. This was a nice vacation.
Yeah.
I have
this is my second birthday. My second birthday in lockdown.
Holy shit. Like this year that just passes my first.
I woke up this morning and I was just so like I wasn't even sad. I was just disappointed. I was just so sad. Like this year I was actually looking forward to it, and then
Cole was like, nah fam.
Not this year.
Cole got
was like, I gotta humble her a little bit more.
She's not worthy yet.
Oh man. Honestly, like it's been crazy. And it's been hard. And I think everyone's kind of just trying to cope in their own way.
But it's also been good though. Honestly though, for me, it's kind of been good in a way that it kind of taught me to do more things for myself.
I guess we can just get into that then, because actually, like, that was going to be one of our topics was, like,
sure.
Do you feel like the changes in the year have been better for you, or do you feel like it's been worse? Like honestly, like, yeah, you guys take it away from that.
I say better. I had a little trouble in the beginning. I think as everyone did, just trying to adjust to like a totally different new life. But I kind of got used to it, and I feel like I was such an extrovert before, but now I've actually turned into an introvert. Maybe, I guess.
No, trust me, I did too.
This year it really made me focus more on myself, as cliche as that sounds. Like I think because I didn't have other people around me. I had to get the good vibes from somewhere else, and I had to bring that up for me, right? So I did a lot of self-work this year, and I think it's one of my favorite things about this whole crazy lockdown that everybody hates, which kind of actually turned into a good thing.
Yeah, I feel like I have a lot of similar sentiments with how, lockdown has been. And don't get me wrong, not necessarily a fan. Like,
me either.
No, we need to skedaddle.
Yeah.
But I can actively admit though that a lot of healing has been done during quarantine.
Yeah, 100%.
Similar sentiments in the sense of like, I'm such an extrovert. Anybody who knows me, anybody who's ever been around me, I am laughing too loud all the time. I'm always talking to people. A lot of my energy comes from the vibes that people give me. And I'm like, it's one of those.
You reciprocated very, like,
Exactly. And I'm just like such a people person. And I love that about myself. I take a lot of pride in that. But I think it was interesting because during quarantine, there was a lot of self-reflection that I used to put on pause. And there was
kind of put to the side because you're forced to, but you're not really forced, but like you're used to always being around people that you never have that time to actually just self-focus. You know what I'm saying?
100%. Like it became very, very clear to me that I give a lot of myself to other people.
Yeah.
So often,
we're
thinking the same.
This is what happens when girls come on this show. You know what I'm saying? Like they know this shit, bro.
We bring all the emotions.
I just trying to figure their stuff out. You know what I'm saying?
All the
they gotta work out all of that.
Yeah.
But like so often though, like I give so much of myself to things that I had to really learn how to reinvest in me.
Yeah.
And reinvest in myself mentally, healing, creatively, who I am, what I want for my future. And it's not often, especially with how busy I am in my day-to-day schedule. Again, anyone who knows me knows that I have had days that I have to plan by the hour. I have like multiple jobs, multiple responsibilities, all these different things, and trying to keep up with social life. And when you give so many parts of yourself to so many different things, you forget to pour back into your cup.
For yourself, exactly.
You forget to refill the cup,
And so it really forced me to sit down and self-reflect and reinvest in me and take time with myself, be comfortable in my own mind and my own thoughts without being distracted and without feeling like I always had other things to do or more important things to do. So it really solidified self-healing in me, and it really forced me to also remember like my resilience and how many things that I've been able to overcome and conquer. And
honestly,
even
Megan,
reinvesting
like I don't know how you did everything that you were able, like I don't know. Like, ever since I've met you, Megan's always busy, and like not in a bad way though. Like Megan's busy and
like work busy, like it's a good busy, you know what I'm saying?
And
like
it's a good busy.
And especially like, girl, how the hell are you busy?
I don't know how.
You're in quarantine, bro. Like you ain't supposed to be home and you're still busy. Like, like that's saying a lot. Like, it's not easy,
And it's something that I've always actually like been inspired by you about.
Aww, so
like, I really wish I could. I mean, like, I know I can if I put my mind to it, but like, Megan, I don't know how you do.
Girl, I don't know how I do it either, honestly.
She's still trying to figure that out.
I'm still trying to figure it out. I don't know how I've maintained mental sanity this long because, like I said, my schedule is crazy. The things that I commit to in my life is a lot all the time, and so sometimes it's tiring to be me. Like sometimes being me just feels really tiring, especially because people expect a certain version of me all the time.
Or probably most people even, right?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
That's crazy.
Like people expect like this Megan.
What we're used to, like, you know what I'm saying, all the time. And people, I feel like people don't realize is like you're human. You have mood swings. It's a part of life, and you need to understand. Like your true friends will understand that. You know what I'm saying? That like,
of course,
it's life. You know what I'm saying? It's just like when there's people that's expect you to be a certain way all the time, it's kind of shitty,
Of course. And it's been hard because like a lot of that self-reflection has had to be for myself and my own life, and remembering like you are human, you're not a machine. You don't have to be doing everything all the time. You don't have to be perfect all the time. You don't have to be the version of yourself that people want from you
Exactly.
all the time. And like it's tough because this version of me that you're experiencing right now is me, like 95% of it. That's just who I am. It's
Yeah,
my
that's
heart,
how
it's
you
my
always
soul,
been.
whatever. But sometimes it's not. And when it's not, it's some of the hardest moments of my life, So it's been a lot of healing. Also, especially, and I know y'all are about to chime in when I say this, a lot of healing within my inner circles and kind of figuring out, who really deserves to be in my inner circle and who do I truly consider a good friend and what does real friendship mean to me. And I think when you have the chance to sit down and confront yourself about some of those things, the truth
quarantine
comes out.
This shit taught you a lot, bro. Like it's
y'all
know, bro. Like you know what I'm saying?
It puts yourself as a priority and you experience things that you never thought you'd be like ready for.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
100%. Like
I think I've had a moment where I didn't recognize myself, but it's kind of like I wasn't used to myself because I felt like I was so brand new, I guess, in a way. Like I was just different after after everything. And I'm just like, oh, okay, like I gotta get used to this Davina now. I kind of like her. Like she's cool. She does what she wants. Like she doesn't live her life for other people anymore. But it was really
please everyone. Yeah.
It's eye-opening and it's actually very like elevating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's you guys.
I feel like I'm a evolved Pokemon or something now. I don't know.
No, but that's the thing. Like I'll like you guys explained it the best was that like this time you really did self-reflect and it was the time that you needed to self-reflect in the right time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people did look at it the similar way, but then there's obviously other people that looked at it like, I just want to they're used to a party lifestyle. They're not used to being at home with their thoughts so much that are just being comfortable at home that they don't know how to interact with just their family and stuff because they're going crazy. Like I think a lot of relationships didn't last because they're not used to just being with that person for that long. They're used to doing their own things, but like the same time, it's like that was a true test for relationships. You know what I'm saying? Like times will get hard. It's just a matter if both of them want to be putting in the effort for it. For me personally, like I use the time. I don't know what it was. I just reached the point where I'm like, I'm just gonna just try things, and I'm like, I don't got no one to like tell me, nah, you gotta focus on this, whatever. I'm just like, fuck it, like, this is my time to fucking just see what's good. You know what I'm saying?
You want.
Yeah. So like, started with streaming. It started with streaming, and then the clothing line, and then obviously the podcast. It's like it's everything just kind of took on a life of its own, and then it helped me figure out a sense where I could talk about whatever I want to in certain areas. You know what I'm saying? The podcast, talk about whatever I want to talk about there. Streaming, I can be my stupid self there. The clothing line, I could paint imagery through my clothing. You know what I'm saying?
You can express yourself through it.
Everything I had an aspect in it. I'm like, yo, nobody else doing this shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's the thing. Like, I use that time as motivation. Then also self-reflecting on like what I want in my friend group, who I want to bring along with my journey to see this, and also what I look for in the next girl I end up with and shit, right? What kind of factors play major roles and what are important to think, and then also things to take notice. You know what I'm saying? So 100%. It was definitely a self-reflecting and also just a good observation to kind of look at what you want in your potential with whoever is in your life that you want to build with, also with your family, what you want with your friend group and stuff. Like it really did teach me a lot, and that's the thing that I looked at as a blessing. I don't mind being at home so much because I always enjoyed being at home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I love going out. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I don't mind being at home with my family and stuff, and even talking to you guys like this. Like I feel I was telling my boys the other day. Yeah, like I was telling like Amin and them the other day, shout out to them, that it feels like I'm in like high school summer break when everyone's like, goes home and play. I don't know, just wake up, they play Call of Duty all day or whatever, and like, obviously you're not seeing each other like how you used to, but like, it feels like I've had those memories all over again, like that feeling of that long break. So I'm cherishing it, and I feel like we all are because life is really short, and you see during these times it is, and yeah, so that's
I think everyone just needed a break from life.
I think it's huge. I think it's crazy too because like I have seen so many relationships start and end during quarantine. And I have seen so many people come to like new revelations, starting new projects, starting podcasts and streaming and all the like big exciting things that you're doing. And like it's been such a blessing in disguise in so many ways. And I think it's reminded people, like, I think it's reminded a lot of people what to not tolerate anymore. And I think
100%.
it has reminded a lot of people to validate and never apologize for their feelings. I think it's reminded people to only choose things in others who choose you.
Exactly.
And like so many hidden lessons I think have really come out and shined during quarantine. So like as much as I personally hate being home, like I can't relate. I miss being out, and like I love like just like being outside and like being with my friends and doing things and stuff like that. Like as much as I miss that and miss that in-person element of things, because that's where I find I thrive and shine the most. It's been good. It's been good for me to just learn and grow and be a better version of me,
Didn't even know that was possible, but okay.
Stop.
We all got like like things to work on and stuff, and it's crazy because like even for me, I thought I knew myself prior to COVID. And I feel like
me too.
Once my life changed the way it did last year, is what made me realize that no, there's a whole bunch more that I didn't know I was capable of. Like for me, like one of my biggest things that I hold very like one of the biggest things I want in my life is now working for the rapper El Nicky. You know what I'm saying? Like being an ambassador for him down in Toronto. So it's one of those things where it still seems surreal because like I remember like I kid you not, like last year when everything was going down, like when I was like at my worst feels, I was just listening to this homeboy on 2K. Like I was just playing his songs. Like I really liked his music. And then not even a year later, now I work for the guy. Like it's crazy to think like that's possible with.
That's wild.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's so that was my kind of my motivation because like that's what keeps living. Like, oh, you're doing good. You know what I'm saying? Like, and hopefully soon if things open up, I'm supposed to go down to LA and stuff. So you guys. I'll be interested. You know what I'm saying? I need some like, my management team, you know what I'm saying?
Is that an invitation?
That's an invitation. Y'all got the invitation to come down to LA, you know what I'm saying?
Love that for
Oh my gosh, I wish.
So
I love that for us. Honestly,
if things calm down, obviously, safer.
Of course. I have a follow-up question to this question then. If you were to say one piece of advice that you would give to anyone right now who is struggling, what would it be? Like, given everything we just talked about.
You can go first, and then I'll let you guys go first.
Oh my gosh!
Put the pressure on her first.
Okay, I guess like a lesson that I've learned during this whole process. I think to just be patient. Be patient in like everything with people, with like you just think like life doesn't have to go so fast, and I think that's probably the biggest thing that everyone's so used to on the go, like one thing after another, but like you gotta slow down,
take a moment,
slow it down. Why go so fast? Like just take time for everything and just kind of soak it all in the moment. Like don't wait for it to become a memory that you reminisce on.
No, 100%.
I love that.
That's the thing. Like I feel like there's one thing like I would tell anyone that's going through the stuff. It's just like, the sun always comes out whenever, it just got to be patient and let things naturally happen. And like, that was one thing that these guys preached to me. Like, I remember last year when I was down, like they were always there to remind me that like it's only tough now. It will get better as the days go on. Just got to be patient. And they kept saying that into my head until a point it reached where I'm like, okay, it's starting to fall into place. So if there's anyone that's going through the things, just give it time. Like it always works out, and it starts from the hard work you put in. So if you put in the hard work, it will always pay off. If you put in half, you're getting just half. It's whatever you put it down, right? So yeah.
100%, 100%. I think
What about you?
my biggest piece of advice is to be gentle with yourself. I think when you realize that sometimes the most toxic relationship we have in our life is the one that we have with ourselves, it is
Yes.
complete game changer.
My goodness.
And I think the biggest lesson that I've read somewhere and I've been telling myself ever since is to talk to yourself the way that you would talk to your best friend. And if you wouldn't say it to them, why would you say it to yourself?
Holy shit.
And it has probably hit different for me, like for like the rest of my life, and it'll probably stick with me moving forward forever. And it is a really good way to keep yourself in check and make sure that you are giving yourself the love you try to give other people.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot fix, it is not your job to fix anybody else, but it is your job to fix you.
Exactly.
And
that's
I think that
probably the biggest thing that I've realized this whole quarantine as well. Like it's really nobody else. Oh my God, sorry, I'm moving so much, but it's really nobody else but you. Like
100%. Like, I cannot emphasize this enough. Not only are you not able to fix other people, it is not your job to fix other people.
Exactly.
And the more love you give to someone else will not fix them. It is up to you to be able to fix yourself. You have to make that decision to be able to heal and to want to move on and to let things go. And in that process, you have to be gentle and patient with yourself. You just have to be. And if you don't treat yourself like your own best friend, if you don't talk to yourself the way you would talk to your parents, your siblings, your cousins, why are you treating yourself less than them and less than the way that, you would talk to them? That is probably the worst thing that we do to ourselves.
Agree.
And I have been trying to get a lot better at that.
Yeah, that's good.
I agree. It's kind of like you realize you don't really think about it, but it's like the only person in this world that's not going to judge you is yourself.
Yeah.
So it's just like start doing things for yourself and you won't ever have to be like worried about other people.
I feel like another
prioritize your life, everything changes.
It's a big difference because like
it does.
We're so used to in a way seeking validation. Like I'm not gonna like pretend like I'm not like one of those people.
Of course.
Because it's and especially when it comes to your best friends and stuff too, like you want your best friends, your family to be on board with whatever you're pursuing, right? And when you have that type of person tells you no, that you care about their opinion, it's very tough to mentally be like, I don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? It strikes hard for you with certain things. So, that's the one thing I noticed too. But at the end of the day, like you got to do what's right. Like the only person living for your life is you, right? Like you got to live to please you. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it's something that does take time to understand.
It's definitely hard though. Like it took all of us a whole year, and we're not even like close to starting the journey, But like exactly. But it's definitely once you start though, it starts to snowball. Like it.
Yeah, snowball effect. Yeah.
It really does. Like
fall into place.
Exactly. Like I think you just have to remember you will be a work in progress for the rest of your life, but that's a good thing. You want to constantly becoming better. Exactly.
And that's the thing. Like if there's one thing that I would tell myself, like when, like, because I was always very like negative towards it, like I was always like, things will fall into place, but it just like you get kind of tired of just waiting. You just want it to happen, and
you get impatient, and it's
you get really impatient.
To happen now, like
it doesn't work like that. And like now I see why it took this long. And then now when I realize that like, it happened the way it did was because it was meant to happen this way, and you wouldn't have appreciated it if it happened right then and there, unless you put in that work. So that's our message. Just put in the work.
Be patient, be gentle, put in the work.
This is what the Trey Fan podcast, you know. By the way, it's our episode is sponsored by Trey Fan Apparel, all available right now at teespring.com. So put that out there. Quick little sponsor right there.
Love that.
You know, by myself, yeah. Oh yeah. So another thing too, quickly, that's also available on Teespring is the new Trey Fan podcast hoodies that are available on there. So, you know, if you guys would be interested to get, you know, I'll line you guys up with a 10% off discount. So, ding, little, you know, thing there. So,
I better get on that.
Yeah, I got you guys. You know, y'all gotta rep the brand. You know, now you guys
of course.
Part of the show. So you know what we can actually get into. As you guys know, the episode title is "You Good." So
fitting theme, huh?
What? And I know people watching are probably like, you know, that's such a different name. Like, why is that? Like, am I supposed to be good? You know, like, so I will let Megan explain the story behind that. It's a very interesting story that you guys will enjoy. So
I also don't think I recall the story, so it's the first time for me as well.
Okay, so
it's funny because Davina became a part of it, but she never understood the origin of it, which is fine. It'd be like that sometimes. But here's how it all started. And this is around the time that Sean and I really started becoming friends and became closer. So this is back to our going to a fete type days.
I was probably intoxicated. That's why.
That
probably
is
what it is.
A common theme. That is a common
in all
theme.
Of our stories. So let's just find out if Rashawn's good or not.
You know, and so this was around the time that Sean had recently broke up with one of his exes. Yeah. And I didn't know, like, in the past, like, I didn't know kind of what was really going on because we weren't that close at the time. But I was obviously, you know, under the influence. And and we had, wherever we were, it was Sean and, like, myself and, like, some of our cousins and, like, our friends and stuff like that. And I wasn't supposed to find out that he was going through this breakup because they all knew that I was going to, like, make a thing out of it.
Filled.
Like, they all knew that Megan was going to be like, no, like, relax, like, you know, just don't say anything, whatever. It's still low-key, not a big deal. Somebody slipped up because coolie people don't know how to keep their mouth shut. And
that shit got around real fast.
It got around with the quickness. Rashawn's business is forever in people's mouths. Anyways, I digress. So when I found out, through the entire club, I'm running up and down looking for Sean, and I went around asking him every 5 minutes, "You good? Are you good, bro? Are you good? I just want to make sure you're okay. Are you good? Are you okay? Is everything? Are you good? Are you good? Are you good? Okay." And I'll go run away.
Telling her, like, girl, please, like,
I'm good.
I'm good. Like, I appreciate. Listen. You like it's like, you know, like when you're like trying to friend zone a girl, like, or like a girl trying to friend zone the guy, like, listen, you're a really good person and I appreciate everything you've done for me.
It's not you, it's me.
It's not you, it's me. Like, you know, like, I'll just like, listen, like I'm like, where's everybody who brought you here? Like, you know, like, they should be looking after you right now, like, you know, like.
And the joke was, I had people chasing me around while I was chasing you around to ask if you were good.
And like, these are the days when, like, the clubs were packed, right? So, like, she's probably
you couldn't move
through, you know, like,
you gotta dance your way through it. Gotta, like,
honestly. But you know what though? It kind of, what, you know, the next day I was obviously like, oh, whoopsies. Whoopsie days.
It was sweet though. I loved it. Like, it was so sweet of her, you know, like, I was never mad about it. I think I was just like more so concerned because I'm like I'm like looking because everybody's still like in the area.
Genuine. It's so genuine from Megan. That's why you're just like, Megan, I'm okay. Like, I'm all right.
Yeah, like, I promise I genuinely cared so much. Because although we weren't close at the time, like, we were still friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then plus you knew who she was. And, like, you know, like, she was super, like, chill. Like, you know, so, like, we all got along or whatever, right?
We were all friends. And her and I, like, I love her. We got along so well, too. Yeah. So when I found out, I was so concerned because of, like, my two friends, and I don't know what's going on.
Her whole world is falling
Her whole,
apart.
her world
My
was
whole
crashing.
world, my whole world was falling apart. Bun them. I was stressed.
Not Rashawn's or
No, I was so
whoever's,
late.
but yours.
My world was falling apart. And so I promise you though, it was just like so genuine though. And it was funny because, or I think I'm so glad it happened because it became a common theme
Yeah.
for like our friendship. And it was how we became closer. Like we would always talk about that night. And then we would talk about it with like our friend group and like all our mutuals. And then
Yeah.
it just became this running inside joke with us, being like, yo, you good, bro? You
You know
good?
what we should do?
Oh,
You know what I
okay.
was gonna say? We should probably like when we link up on Monday, like we should get like a Polaroid and take the picture and then sign it with our episode with our signatures on it, and then that'll be like the post for the thing. Because I like with each
But I
episode,
love
like what I'm
that.
trying to do is have like a significant, like a symbol memory of like each episode. Like I would Derek and then I had like obviously at the bottom stuff, and they all signed it, right? So I was like, maybe I don't know, you thought about that.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be kind of cool if you were
I'm
like,
so down.
we all signed and stuff. So
That would be so cute. But yeah, that was kind of how You Good started. It seems like a fitting theme where we're just checking in on everybody.
and if she
Casey
done
didn't
that,
get it,
we wouldn't have
they're
been
good.
like this close. You know what I'm saying?
They're
Like,
good.
so,
I was gonna say everything new, another life lesson quote, everything happens for a reason. I know it's cheesy, I know it's corny,
but
but like
That's so true.
it's facts. Like even though it may seem like your life has ended at that point or whatever, it gets better. It always does.
it always does.
Everything that has to be this good, like look, you can't even see it. Like, is that good?
You gotta get up there somehow.
Down. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you gotta ride the roller coaster.
I'm gonna go stand up. I'm gonna stand up. Okay.
Oh,
If it gets that good, it has to come back this down, right? So, yeah,
period.
I'm extra. You're like, Rain's like, oh my god,
We knew.
he's going.
Like I didn't see how far it went up.
I can't see it anymore. Oh my god, man! Like that's like we've had so many memories of stupidness that like I'm grateful for because like if it wasn't for all these things, like we wouldn't have been this close. Like that's the thing, like
Yeah.
when we need each other, we were always there for each other, and that's something that's never going to change. So thank you guys for always being there. Like that's I'm
You
grateful.
always gotta know if you're good.
I'm happy that I have you guys here. That's what I was going to talk about actually was the relationships aspect of things. Because obviously on a couple episodes prior, my boys, they talked about like, the struggles of being single, right? And DMing girls and why girls, they don't understand why girls don't reply and stuff. So I feel like, now that we have you ladies on here, I'm assuming that you guys have encountered guys DMing you and stuff. So you could give them an idea why, this story why girls don't reply to certain DMs. So
I think, okay, I'll kick things off. I think you know what it is. Like, if a guy's sliding into your DMs on Instagram, right? I think girls often get quite a few DMs. And it's one of those things where over text message, sometimes it's harder to get to know people. And they want to know that they're not giving their number or their Snapchat or this, that to random mans and dirty mans. Like, we don't want that. We don't need that. And
also to protect yourself too, right? Like that's another thing.
I was gonna say to literally protect yourself from weirdos and creeps and people who will call your number nonstop and make women uncomfortable. So this just female things. I'm telling you, like, women have it rough out here. A lot of it, you guys think that sometimes we're just being like
dramatic
or reply, but genuinely, like, sometimes when people reply and they ask for like your number and things like that, a concern of safety is a very genuine and real thing. So if you don't pass the vibe check, if I don't get a good sense of who you are or what you're like, or if I don't feel safe around you in any general capacity, you're not getting my number. Stop talking to me. Like, I don't mean to sound like rude or disrespectful, but it's just one of those things where like women have it really rough, and we've been seeing that very often, and it's only now coming more to light on social media, but like women have it really hard. But even with the serious stuff of safety aside, I think what it is like if a guy slides into your DMs, the first thing that I'll do is look at your profile. And I'm curious
That
to
makes
know,
sense.
like, who are
Who the
you?
hell are
Why are
you?
you like, who are you? What do you want from me? Let me see who you are, feel out
Yeah.
the vibe, catch the vibe, whatever. If I can get a pretty good sense of who you are, like, think of your Instagram profile as like your Tinder profile.
Yeah.
If I can get a good sense of who you are, if you seem like you're a cool person, might be easy to talk to, then
Yeah.
I'll respond. But the issue with even just it being like, hey, next, you have to be able to carry a
Yeah.
conversation. If you can carry a conversation, I'm never.
Oh my God, I
you
saw
ever.
the funniest post today, and it was like, guys will tell you to check your messages, but in your messages, it'll say, yo.
I don't,
And
they're,
it's
they're
just,
commenting on your picture saying that or some shit, right? Like,
no,
Oh
like,
my
they'll just
God.
message you, yo, like, yo. And I'm like, what's up, homie? Like,
yeah, like,
okay.
I was like, oh, we're
And
on
the
that level
joke,
now, like, you know.
the joke is when you post a photo and they send it back to you because they don't want to comment.
What's the weirdest DM that you guys ever got? I don't know if like you can remember any like stupid ones or anything.
I don't think
Oh,
so. I don't, honestly and truly, I don't get that many
Yeah,
DMs from like a random guys or something. I don't really care for DMs, to be honest. It's just
yeah,
not a way that I would like to meet people. But
yeah.
I don't know. I don't pay
I
too much
think
attention to them. I'm just like, if I'm not like feeling it, I'm just like, I just delete it. Like I
It's
don't.
like like an instant reaction. Like it's just yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say if I'm not feeling it, I will very quickly just like not even bother.
yeah.
Yeah.
What will make me more likely to reply is if I see that we have mutuals, so I know that you're not like a
It's just
complete random
A
stalker or
random guy
creep.
or yeah.
of his face showing or something, and some
Yeah,
sketchy
like
shit.
100%. Like if I kind of know of you and I've maybe heard about you before, like
Yeah,
you are 80% more likely to hear back from me.
yeah.
I think in terms of like weird or like crazy stories, I've had my share of like old Santa looking men who are definitely looking for a sugar baby. And it's just,
Girl, why not? I'm waiting for that for
child,
you.
Yo,
what do you mean, why not? No, no, no,
yo,
no,
Sis, you're not thinking
no.
about the right things, though.
Listen. I know quite a few people who have gotten into sugar daddy
Oh,
encounters
really?
because of Instagram. All I can say is it is too much work. Nobody's getting my foot pics. I'm not doing that. I'm not. I'm just not. I do want a new purse, but like not that badly. Like I'll
yeah.
buy it for myself. I will
I'll
buy
wait
it.
for the sales.
I
You
will
ain't
wait
trying to
for
be
it to go on clearance.
starring on like an OnlyFans with foot pics, like is that what
They'll never
Never
see your
that.
face.
Never
I would never
that.
do it
Like
though.
I'm telling you,
or
like
that?
I've had quite a few. Like it's been crazy in terms of like just like annoying like regular DMs from like regular people,
Yeah.
if you will. I don't know what it is with like brown boys, but they and brown girls. I don't know, child. Some of them just I don't know. Like I think they need a little bit of training, maybe a little bit
Yeah.
of prep,
Training. No
um,
home
a
training.
little bit of understanding like how to talk to people. Like the conversation will go as far as like, hey, how are you? Good. I'm just chilling. I'm watching Netflix. I don't know. What are you watching? This TV show. Oh, cool.
I know,
Okay.
like, okay.
Like,
Yeah. It's like
It's like the LOL.
was
Like,
I
what
supposed
do
to
I?
was I supposed to continue the conversation? You slid into my
Yeah.
DMs. I'm
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's
like
just sliding into someone
it's
else's
not it's not
DM.
absolutely on
Keep
me. You know what I'm
swimming.
saying?
Like,
Like
you gotta dive and then swim after. You can't
yeah.
just dive and sink to the bottom.
they dive and then they sink.
They
Like
dive,
And they
they just
drown.
dead.
That's
you gotta have a little bit of game, you know?
yeah.
And even if you do have game, at the end of the day though, your account is the Tinder profile.
Yeah.
If you only have pictures from 2014, because boys do that, they forever stay having pictures from 6 years ago, use it for every single social media platform.
Yeah.
It's the one picture, and then they have another picture outside, like the
But I mean,
Mississauga
like, you
buildings,
also can't like just
and that's
you
it.
can't. It'll give you a better like understanding of the person,
Of the
but
person.
it doesn't tell you like who the person actually is. So sometimes you never know if it's just like
It's
a
hard to meet nowadays,
Yeah,
you
like
know.
it's hard
But
to read the
100%.
vibes when
those
when
things
you
help
went over
kind of
socials.
place an idea of who the person is by if their pictures are that's the thing, like a lot of like girls that I've talked to and stuff, they've said like when it comes to my Instagram when it was there before it got reported and then not to make another one, but on that account they said like they saw I was very family oriented, with my friends and basketball, so they had an idea of
Mm.
what to expect if they were to get to know me. So when I did message
Yeah.
them, it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like they knew,
I think
okay,
it's just
yeah,
one thing for me though is like I'm just like I just feel like some people are just not like who they are or they show on
they
socials. That's why it's just
they
like you can
pretend.
think
Yeah.
that someone is like that, but like you could be the exact opposite of what your Instagram shows
I was
you.
actually gonna ask though, like, are you guys able to see
100%.
through though, like certain people on IG, like that you like they ain't living that life, you know what I'm saying? Like, are you
I
able
don't
to?
know. Looks can
Sometimes.
be very, very deceiving.
I was gonna say, for me, it's very much so sometimes. Like, at the end of the day, would I prefer to be meeting people in person? Yes, of
Yeah,
course, but everybody would, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So the next best thing that I have to judge who you are or your character is the way
That's
you
true.
present yourself online.
the
The
lines are very
problem is,
blurred, you know.
the problem is though, the way people present themselves online is not who they are in
Yeah,
person. And I mean that in both good and bad ways. Like,
Yeah.
there are things that I don't put about myself on
yeah,
social media, but if you know me
Mm-hmm.
personally, you know about all the cool things that I'm doing or all the cool things
Yeah.
I'm trying to work
yeah.
on,
That's true.
all that kind of stuff. But it works in the reverse way too, where it's like,
Mm.
I know you photoshopped yourself in Hawaii. Don't try to act like you were there. Don't try to,
I'm trying to act like that's
no.
your car. I know your parents bought it for you.
I
You know
mean,
what I'm saying? I know
yeah,
a
that.
lot of people like that.
But I think
A
for
lot of homeboys
me,
like that.
I think I'd be more scared of like if the person is like mean or like they're not like
Yeah.
they don't have a good personality. Like they're just not a good person.
Yeah.
I think that's
And
one reason why I don't really look at people over the internet like that.
Yeah.
And that's what I meant by like looks can be deceiving, like just personality wise.
it's
But
very true.
also I don't know, it's just scary. Like you never
You don't
really
know
know
what's
who a
real.
person is.
You don't know
Yeah.
what's real
And
anymore. That's basically it.
yeah, like she's right. Like, making sure someone is a nice and good person is unfortunately really rare
There's
nowadays.
not a lot of people out there like that.
To come
Yeah.
across someone who is genuine is hard. And as sad as that sounds and as much as that sucks, it does not come by easy. It does not come by every day.
And the people that are
And
genuine is probably just your friends or your family.
and
If
that's
you're
the
lucky.
thing, right?
You know?
If you're lucky.
And
If
that's
you're
what I'm
lucky.
saying. Like, that's why with social media, it's
Mm-hmm.
so hit or miss because I've
Yeah.
heard some success stories where they actually, things actually work out and it's amazing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I see just as many where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
you are not who you seemed like you were.
Mm-hmm.
And it's scary. It's very hit or miss. And I think that's why, at least not even just girls, but I think people in general, it's just so intimidating to try to do everything
Yeah.
online. And I know the pandemic has forced us to kind of do that and be in that
Socially
position.
interact that way, but yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but like
Especially if
it
someone's
can be
not used to
scary.
it. Like if
For
you're
Mhm.
not used to
sure.
talking to, like if say if you don't like use socials a lot or like you're just not an online person, like it's just you're not gonna wanna start to be an online person, like
Yeah.
it's not easy for everyone.
It takes time to
And
adjust.
it works sometimes in reverse too, where like someone
Mm-hmm.
could be super smooth and really easy going online, and you meet in
And in person,
person,
they're so like,
and it's a completely different ball game. And you can never tell with people because it's
Yeah.
so easy to hide behind social media, even if you are a genuine person. Some like
yeah.
you never truly know who people are,
Yeah.
and that's the tea.
Pff, I couldn't have said it better. Like, like for me, like it's like I think when I was younger, I used to have issues with talking to girls. Like if I'm being honest, like when I was in high school and stuff.
Yeah.
But once I figured out, I want to say maybe like grade 11, possibly, was when I figured out how to cater to whatever girl I had interest in and
Mm.
how to stand out, because that's the biggest thing. What are you going to do that's going to make her worth your time to like get a reply from or give her a sense of thought like, oh, okay, maybe, he has something going or like, something interesting. I want to get to know that person more.
And I definitely see how it is for guys as well, though, because if you're trying to make a move on a girl and you
Yeah.
think like sometimes girls just reject it,
Yeah.
and like sometimes like they just, I don't know, it's just you never know what to expect. So
Yeah.
honestly, if you do shoot your shot at a girl through the DMs, like
You got to be open to both.
you
You
like
know what I'm saying?
good for you, because that's not easy to do.
No, 100%. Like that's the thing.
But
Like,
like it
for
just
me, like,
doesn't always, it doesn't always come off as like it depends on how. Sometimes it can just come off as creepy, especially if like the person has like a certain reputation, or like
yeah,
you know something about
it
them,
kind
and it'll be like a biased
of
thing. But like also just be genuine. Like just be like, hey, I saw your picture, thought you were cute, just like that.
just give a
I
little
don't
bit
know, make
more
them
than
feel
just a
safe.
hey. Yeah.
Just like Megan was talking about in the beginning. You just gotta make them feel safe and
Yeah.
just compliment them at the same time. And I think
And that's all it is. And look, I can say for
that
myself
could
as a
be a
guy
shot.
too, like for me, I cater to whatever I see. Like thing, like if I notice that a girl, maybe she got like a new promotion or something, she posts about it, I'll be like, "Yo, congratulations!" Like that's huge. Like little things like that can show that you're paying attention. It's not just you trying to just flirt and get in their pants. Realistically, you know what I'm saying? It shows that you actually have interest in who they are and want to know more. And if they don't reply, then so be it. But at least you can say that you went with a respectful
sliding
aspect,
in. Sometimes people be sliding in with DMs and like with like jokes and stuff, and it's just like you probably won't get a good reply from that.
Yeah.
Or like
that's the thing, like it's exactly the other. You have to know who you're talking to and what the outcome is possibly gonna be. If you're trying to talk to a elite girl and you're like, "Hey, you're beautiful," like I'm pretty sure she probably got 100 messages just that day alone of that same thing that she probably not thinking. So, not saying that like even if you do a catered like a message towards her that she'll reply, but it just puts your chances up a little higher. You know what I'm saying? So
I think you just
take it
gotta
with a grain
give
of
the
salt.
vibes you expect to get back.
Exactly, and like there's gonna be girls that's gonna reply. There's a girl that didn't reply to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't let it bother me. Like fuck, it's your problem. That's on you. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta be ready to prepare for both. Simple as that.
Not everyone's for you. You're searching.
That's all.
Can't be sad when you can't find it yet.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like if you're sliding the DMs, you just have to be open to no matter what comes out of it.
Whatever the
That's the long story short.
That's the long story short. I don't know. We like to explain these things so people can have an idea, and that's what this show is all about. It's just giving you guys, the idea of, both perspectives in a sense, and I'm so happy that I actually was able to have you guys here. Obviously, I wish we were able to do it in person, but this. Shout out to Davina's Wi-Fi for pulling through all the way to the end there. Like it.
Wow, I can't. Wow.
I have to put in there. All right.
The whole show. You went the whole show with not like just why?
Not mentioning it. No, I just had to like give it thank you. Like
thank you to my Wi-Fi router. Thank you.
Wi-Fi was just like, yo, got you, bro. Like it's good.
Gotta come through for my boy Rashawn.
Thank you, girls, so much for being on the show. And probably like one more topic we'll talk about. And we can end off, by saying like, what was the motivational factor for each of you during these times? Because obviously there's times when it was hard to find motivation again when you're like you said, like as Megan said, like you're constantly stuck in a certain routine, and it can be tough to bring yourself back up to that level of being excited and stuff. So what was you guys' like motivational aspect?
Yeah. For me, it was really just like my future. You know what I mean? In everything that I would think about, I would constantly remind myself things are not going to be like this forever. You will be able to get on a plane soon and go on vacation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Things are not going to be like this forever. Think about like your career and all the things you want to accomplish. Everything does not have to be put on pause right now. Like you just have to make the most out of everything that you have right now. And it's not easy, but like thinking in my head that like I have such a exciting future ahead of me and I have the rest of my 20s ahead of me, like it makes me excited, and it helps me just keep doing my thing now, so I'll be able to keep doing my thing in the future. And it doesn't always work because sometimes it's like bun this, I want to go to sleep. Like
you'll have that moment, Normal
But
though,
like
you know.
we're human, we all do. Quarantine times are tough. Like it's hard to always be motivated. But I think it's just reminding myself that like things are not gonna be like this forever. You have lots of opportunities. Just be patient with yourself. Go with the flow. Trust the process. Like things are gonna work out for you.
No, I couldn't have said it better. That was perfect, man. That was perfect. What about
Honestly,
you?
I'm glad that you went first because that's everything I needed.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I was like, oh shit, I can't top this shit.
it's been it's been so hard to like get motivation back. I don't even think I found it yet. Like
Mm.
I'm still trying to see what works for me, I guess. And like
Yeah.
Rashawn said, you just gotta try new things until you find out whatever works for you. But definitely have plans to get back on the path of life. But like Megan really said it. I just absorbed all of that, and now I'm gonna try it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Honestly.
the thing is too, like that's important to remember, there's also no rush, you know?
Hmm.
Even quarantine aside, I think the moment we're all in our 20s, we all think that there are
Mm,
certain deadlines we're supposed to reach and certain expectations that we should have at different times in your life. And like, there's no expiry date for your goals.
Oh,
You
that's
know what I
true.
mean?
They can even
You,
change too sometimes.
and that's what I'm saying. Your goals change. What you want in life changes. And you are never too old to start something new. And if you believe that, then you are holding yourself back. Like at some point in life, you just have to learn and remember that you always have to bet on yourself. And yeah, like it's it's hard, but there's no rush. You just gotta trust the
That's true.
process and remember that like you're a work in progress, you know?
oh, you couldn't. That's the thing. You couldn't have said it any better than that. Like,
In
times
the
will always
wise
be tough.
words of Stormy Webster, patience, patience, patience.
She's so cute. I love
She's
her.
so cute. I love her. She's
uh,
so sweet.
you girls said it best. Like there's gonna be many times you're gonna be knocked down, and like it's on you to get back up. And
Yeah.
for me personally, like finding motivation was seeing what I was able to achieve in little time. And you guys are all witnesses of it. Like you guys are the ones that helped motivated me. Like my friends, my family were definitely the ones because I'll be honest, like there's times when it can be a little frustrating and like draining because it's, remember I'm doing, the streaming, the clothing line, and then the podcast.
Mhm.
It can be tough to manage. So that's the thing, like that's another reason why I kind of took time to not do that episode like with us right away because I needed to do some time for myself a little bit too. So it's learning. I've learned that I need to slowly start to balance everything a little bit better just because I'm doing so much right now. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of the process is a lot, editing, it's, you know, designing and,
Mhm.
flyering, like all those things, you have to take in mind, right? So
I have a question for you.
yeah,
You started doing a lot in so little time, and everything is going so good for you, and I'm so proud of you.
thank you.
But like, did you ever have any moments where like you thought you couldn't do it? Like, did you ever doubt yourself?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, I feel like at the start, when I first brought up the idea, especially because where my head was at was I didn't have like that ego energy, like that type of like thing for
Mm-hmm.
myself as I do now. And there was many times where like even in between where I'm like, yo, like how I don't know how much longer to do this. Like I felt like personally after the episode with El Nikki, I was like, I don't know where I can go from here. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
everything's gonna be kind of like a downfall. And then,
Ah,
it was like that's how I was feeling because I'm
so
like,
funny.
it was like this was kind of like my biggest moment. How do I
Yeah,
go from that to like
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And it's not to dislike anyone that I have next or like on my
Mm.
show or whatever. It was just like
I'm
that's
just
what I was
kidding.
feeling because like I was like this was like a big moment and
Yeah.
I took time to kind of self reflect and I'm like no, like this is just the beginning. Like use that as motivation to like okay, well if you have that, then try to strive for more.
It's gonna be like,
And
damn, already you're doing big things
in,
like this.
in little time, and like
Yeah.
and I think what makes me more happy is because my friends and family all get to see it, and especially because
Mm.
you guys were able to see where I was once at to where we are now in just that time. You guys seen the whole process, and you guys are a part of that journey.
Mm.
And that's the true support to see, the growth and stuff. So like that's why and that's what pushes me to continue to think for more because I want to continue to always also learn and expand, my brand and, keep growing, but also just motivate whoever is going through similar stuff that things can happen if you just put the work in. And, like here we are almost a year later and, things have worked out better than I ever could expect. And I'm always grateful for it. So thank you guys for constantly supporting, bro. Like, that's, yeah. The hearts up there. That should be the clip right there. Like, like the YouTube one with all the hearts right there.
Yeah, let's do it.
We should try to make one.
Oh my god, man! But like, I'm so happy that I was able to have you guys on this show, and like, we'll probably do an actual episode in person in the future. Like, that's like it's crazy thing. Like, we're already on like 7 episodes in already. Like
I know.
it's amazing to see how much the show. And another thing is like a lot of people have hit me up like that they want to be on the show, and it's all people that I didn't expect to like, want to like, be interested in that, but like that actually have interest. And if I want to hear a funny thing actually too, guys, is like people actually messaged me saying like that my show gave them a sense of different perspective and like a comfort zone to like it's how they've been feeling dealing with COVID and stuff. So to see that there was other people going through the similar feelings, like that's what made me also another thing that I realized like, yo, we're actually doing something good. Like, it was such a reliever to see that like the show was actually giving people hope and, that they can get through things. And, and that's all you want, especially during these times, because it's draining mentally, for a lot of us. So just knowing that I'm able to help even just one person or a couple, I'm grateful for. So, yeah.
I love that.
I got better at this talking shit, eh? That's another thing that's actually been a pro with this show. So
good vibes. You good, bro?
Good. You good?
You good. So that concludes the Trey Fan Podcast episode 7. Thank you guys so much, Megan, Davina, my girls. I appreciate them so much. Thank you guys for being here, and we'll have a future episode, obviously. Hopefully in person.
In person.
I know Rashina wants to be on it, so we'll probably do it. Or we got something in the works with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, so thank you guys. And you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Hope you guys enjoy this. Take care, okay?
Bye, guys.